Hello, this is Treya, and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty. Oops. Welcome to the Real Estate Apostle channel, where I'm passionate about helping middle-aged people. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old. I'm a 52-year-old Black American woman, and I have over 30 years of nursing experience. And 2 years ago, I quit my six-figure job as a registered nurse to go into self and self-love. And today's video is something that I just learned about today, this morning. I had been seeing this gentleman, Mr. Stephen tWitch Boss, on shorts. Before this morning, I only thought I knew him as this guy who was dancing with a partner who I assumed was his wife. And whenever I would get caught up on like watching the shorts, sometimes you get in a rabbit hole just scrolling through watching these shorts. Oftentimes I would see a video of this man dancing on there with his partner, with his wife. And, I thought it was a cute couples dance. I had no idea that he was somebody famous for dancing and, had been a part of the whole industry and, did stuff with the Dancing with Stars and You Think You Can Dance, all kinds of stuff. He's been very active in this community. And the sad story is how his passing transpired. And it's just something that, really weighs heavy on my heart. As a nurse, we are advocates for patients and people. And this is a very serious subject because a lot of times people, when this happens, are concerned about like if there was maybe some red flags that you may have missed. And also, you think about if it was something that you could have done to maybe, prevent this. And I just want to give a testimony, a story that that took place in my life. This was in 1991, and I was my first nursing program, and one of my fellow students, a nursing student, his name was Brian, and he was 27, I was 20, and he was in a relationship that he was just getting out of, where he was in a long-term relationship with an older woman. And there was a lot of, dynamics in their relationship. And long story short, he attempted to delete himself by hanging himself. And during the time right prior up to this happening, we were spending a lot of time together, study partners. And so to have something like that happen, I know he was really depressed about, the relationship being over. And also, he was in what we considered an abusive relationship because it was with an older woman who was very manipulative and, kind of drove him into this this sad state where he felt like he was hopeless, because he was like really super smart. If for those of you who don't know, nursing school is really hard, and this guy was super smart, and we all on the outside looking in could see that the person has a lot to live for. However, when the person is going through this sad sorrow, sometimes only they know exactly how they're feeling and how devastating these breakups are in the relationships or different things going around us in our, personal life. Sometimes loss of finances, loss of people. There's different types of loss that sometimes some people could feel might be too much. And so if y'all can see, I've dropped in the description, the link for the hotline, if anybody, is feeling a certain way, to just talk about it. A lot of times, just speaking out loud what's going on a lot of times it really helps because when you hear it, you may be able to hear some hope in your situation and see that it's not that bad. So that's why we're here encouraging people to have more awareness of this, because a lot of times, especially in our, Black American community, getting help, mental help and stuff is kind of like frowned upon. And by it being frowned upon and people not wanting to identify with it, or you feel like it may make you appear as weak if you're saying that, you're having some emotional stress or something's going on in your life that it, feels too heavy. And sometimes when you are responsible for, a lot of people count on you, that those are things that can make it feel like your plate, might be too heavy. So when I got online this morning and I saw what had happened, and then get a little bit more information and find out that, this man had really done a lot with his life and had inspired and motivated a lot of people. So, which is the reason why I wanted to come and speak on this today, because of, the backstories behind it. And so we're going to do a small tribute. We're going to start with a video that's kind of describing him, because I'm sure I'm not the only person that, never heard of him or didn't, put the connections together. So I have some clips from some different videos we're going to play, and then we're going to analyze a lot of stuff, because there's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of talk that from his family that maybe they said that he didn't have that personality, that this isn't him. And then there's, this narrative that's being painted that he is responsible for deleting himself. And one of the key reasons why I'm tying this all together, because, for those of y'all that know me, y'all know I'm really big into highlighting abuse from these narcissists that tend to secretly do this type of abuse and then encourage people to delete themselves. And then it's like they're getting away with it scot-free. So that's why I'm putting this out here, so we can be aware to look for red flags and things like that. So our first video is going to be kind of an introduction. Let's see which one is first. Here we go. First one is going to be more of an introduction here. And let me share my screen here. Okay. This is from, let's see, it's only 9 minutes, and it's from Crazed Culture. Let me go ahead and sub. And here we go.
You think you can dance, and his big time moves on Ellen DeGeneres, but the shocking news that Steven tWitch Boss took his own life.
tWitch was a born performer whose effortless and crisp hip-hop moves put him on the map, first on the competition series So You Think You Can Dance in 2008.
We're still making sure that kindness and love is still spread.
Just 3 days ago, he posted this video dancing with wife Allison the day before they celebrated their 9th wedding anniversary.
It is with the heaviest of hearts that I have to share my husband, Steven, has left us. Steven lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him.
Those who've ever been a big fan of the Ellen DeGeneres show know all about the well-known DJ Steven Boss, who went by the name of tWitch. He was
I never watched the Ellen show. So I didn't know him. I just, like I said, I saw him on all these shorts. When I get on Instagram, he'd be on these reels, just doing this little dance and stuff. But here, he's
icon on the show for later years and was like family, according to Ellen herself. But that is not all he was. tWitch was also a famous dancer, and those who followed him truly know his face from So You Think You Can Dance. To say that tWitch would light up a room would be an understatement, but that was until his wife, fellow dancer Allison Holker Boss, confirmed his statement to CNN that he had ended his life. Many are mourning this tremendous loss, including Allison, and she has lots to say about it. We'll break it down for you, but before we do that, go ahead and do us a favor, leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And with that being said, let's get straight into the death of Twitch. There's never an easy way to start a video of this manner, so we'll just get to it. And note that Stephen Twitch Boss took his own life on Tuesday at the age of just 40. It is with the heaviest of hearts that I have to share my husband Stephen has left us. Boss's wife, Allison Holker Boss, confirmed in a statement. Stephen lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, best husband and father, and an inspiration to his fans. To say he left a legacy would be an understatement, and his positive impact will continue to be felt. She continued, I'm certain there won't be a day that goes by that we won't honor his memory. We ask for privacy during this difficult time for myself, and especially for our 3 children. Closing her statement, Allison shared a message for her husband. Stephen, we love you, we miss you, and I will always save the last dance for you. She concluded. DJ Stephen Twitch Boss's wife was adamant with cops Tuesday morning. She knew something was terribly wrong because he'd left home without warning and stopped all communication. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ when Allison Holker entered a branch of the LAPD Tuesday to report Stephen missing, she stressed how out of character Twitch's disappearance was. She told cops he just simply left their house. There was no argument or issue. He didn't answer any of her calls. Our law enforcement sources say they then accompanied Allison back to the family's home, doing a brief check around the property for any video or clues as to where he'd gone. TMZ was told Allison was so insistent on how odd Twitch's behavior was, officers considered listing him as a critical missing persons case. However, as TMZ first reported, a 911 call came in shortly after Allison's contact with the police, saying Twitch's body had been discovered at a motel less than a mile.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's keep going here.
Just a few days before, the couple each recently posted sweet tributes to Instagram in honor of their 9th anniversary on December 11th. I love you, baby, and I will never take you or our love for granted, Allison Holker Boss wrote. Just 3 days before Stephen Twitch Boss's death at the age of 40, he was celebrating his 9th wedding anniversary with his wife, Allison Holker Boss. Stephen, who joined the Ellen DeGeneres show in 2014 as a DJ before becoming a co-executive producer in 2020, captured a carousel of photos with Allison. Happy anniversary, my love, at Allison Holker, #9 years. In a series of professional shots from the couple's 2013 wedding, they can be seen dancing and playfully showing off their new wedding rings to the camera. Allison also shared a video montage featuring shots from their wedding and set to Adele's One and Only on Instagram. It's our 9th anniversary, she wrote. I couldn't be more grateful to celebrate this perfect, magical day. Saying yes to @SirTwitch a lot has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I feel so blessed and loved. I love you, baby, and I will never take you or our love for granted. I love you. #happy anniversary, #boss wedding 2013. The pair had 3 children together. Zaya, age 3, Maddox, age 6, and Wesley, age 14. His life. Born in Montgomery, Alabama, Boss earned his nickname.
Oh, wow. I'm here in Montgomery, Alabama. Isn't that something? I just find it, I don't know. You know, that's a little odd that he'd just be missing for, not even, 24 hours. And it's this, big, like that just seems a bit much from, just missing just barely a day. All right, let's go and get finished with this.
Child when he couldn't sit still. He graduated from the high school in Montgomery in 2000.
I know that school.
Performance at Southern Union State Community College and Chapman University. 6 years ago, he spoke with author and former football player Lewis Howes for the Ladders podcast and talked about his background, including being raised by a single mother and how his relationship with his absentee father helped shape him. I've always been that type. Don't tell me what I won't do, Boss said. I remember talking to my father outside of his work in the parking lot and telling him, hey, I'm joining the dance team. I'm going to need some shoes and some money to get supplies. And he went on this tangent. I was like, oh, that means I'm really supposed to do this then. Boss rose to fame as a contestant on MTV's The Wade Robson Project before becoming a runner-up on Star Search. He later competed
I'm in Star Search.
2008, ending season 4 as a runner-up and later returning as an all-star. He was a judge when the show returned in 2022. In 2014, Boss joined the Ellen DeGeneres show as a guest DJ. He eventually became a permanent fixture on the series and was elevated to co-executive producer status in 2020. The late star previously co-hosted Disney's Fairy Tale Weddings with Allison. He also appeared in many high-profile films and shows, including Magic Mike, XXL, Modern Family, and Step Up All In.
Wow, I never saw none of those.
TMZ was one of many who looked into the death of Boss, and they found out where he was right before he took his life. According to them, he checked into a motel less than 1 mile from his LA home Monday morning. They spoke with motel staffers who say he didn't appear to be in any sort of distress.
A motel, yeah, I mean, a motel is like a real seedy, it's not a hotel. Motel is, yeah, so that's concerning there. Like, why would he go to a motel? Yeah, to maybe just, not to be found at the house or something like that too. Sometimes these victims are considering, the family and stuff like that, that they have it planned out. That's why, maybe that's why she was so worried and concerned. Like maybe he had been speaking about this or something like that. Something make her feel worried, like it's, something, because, just 24 hours, sometimes you could be out, I'm not, you could be going somewhere. I don't think the first step is to race to the police station to, to draw up alarms if you not hear from the person for, a half a day or something, so. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
He wasn't visibly upset about anything. They were then told the 40-year-old only had a small bag with him and had booked the room for only one night. It was on Tuesday when Twitch missed his checkout and employees went to his room, where they found him deceased in the bathroom. He likely would have bet that he would show some signs that he was about to take his life, but he didn't. Celebrity reactions. Ellen DeGeneres was one of the first to make a reaction to Boss's death. She made the following statement on Instagram. "I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya." Kaylin Allen, actor and guest contributor for the Ellen DeGeneres Show, shared a heartfelt message to his beloved friend, confidant, and brother. "God knows my heart is at a standstill because I have never known a friend like you. No words, dance, or show can adequately capture just how magnificent your existence was to this world and me," the internet personality began. "In a world where it was easy to get lost in the shadows, I'm grateful that we always saw each other. We were each other's #1 fan and often the light in each other's darkest hours. I'm very sorry that the darkness found a voice this time and became too loud. As a queer Black man, I want to thank you for seeing me and providing me with a friendship that I didn't even know could exist. My friend, you have no idea how your existence alone was revolutionary. To be heard is one thing and to be seen is another, but to be felt is the true gift. And I hope that as you look down from above, you know that you were never anyone's sidekick. And hell, you weren't even a real DJ. But how you moved and captured the hearts of the world, and your gentle and subtle kindness was the glue that made the puzzle complete. We ended every show encouraging the audience to take whatever light in."
That's the part that's concerning to me, because he didn't have that type of a low energy. I mean, like I said, I'm just learning about this guy, but from what I'm seeing, he was very positive, motivating, and all of that, like totally out of the character of, somebody who would be deep and dark, or something like that. So that's why it's super important to really analyze the person, and then to also, inquire, we want to check on each other and stuff like that. It's super important to do that. I don't know. It just seems suspicious to me. It seems a little bit suspicious. And like I said, a lot of times these narcissists are behind, doing little gremlin moves and manipulating people. Like there was a case a little bit back where this one woman, was already prosecuted for encouraging a young man to delete himself, so this is a thing. People do this stuff. So let me go back over here and finish it. We're almost done with this.
Joy they found in that soundstage and spread it through the world. I promise you, I'll dream the unimaginable. I'll climb every mountain, and I'll dance every single dance with your memory as fuel," the singer-songwriter concluded. To the man upstairs, please welcome the best dance partner, faux DJ, and host, Stephen tWitch Boss. Take care of him and take care of his family. You've gained an angel who needs no introduction. Leah Remini, who judged So You Think You Can Dance alongside Boss, honored his kindness. I'm heartbroken by the news of the passing of tWitch. Although we had met many times at the Ellen Show, I got to know him better this summer when I joined the judges' table on So You Think You Can Dance. tWitch was always so kind to me and everyone who worked so hard behind the scenes. tWitch was the guy who played and interacted with his fans in the audience during commercial breaks, and he encouraged all the contestants when the cameras weren't rolling. He had such a passion and love for dance.
That doesn't make
the
sense.
Contestants on the show. tWitch adored his wife, Allison, and their 3 kids more than anything. He would talk about them all the time with such pride. He had a laugh and smile that lit up the whole room. Rest easy, tWitch. You will leave a big hole in many hearts.
Yes.
My heart goes out to his family, his friends, and the many people whom he inspired.
Yes. Wow. So that's kind of the first one. I wanted to play that just in case, some of y'all was like me that don't really, hadn't really heard of this person. Like I said, I just hear about this morning, but I have seen him on social media, like I said, on these shorts, everybody's doing this little dance and stuff. And I saw him part of the challenge. I've seen him on Instagram, doing the dance too. And by the way, that dance that everybody's doing off that Beyonce song, that's just the walk. That's the walk that we used to do back in the 80s. And they just kind of jazz it up. But anyway, they always recycling these dances, but that ain't nothing but the walk. Anyway, that's where I saw him from. And then to hear about this taking place was just, horrible because, like I said, right now, today, we're putting more emphasis on, we're shining more light on mental health. We're realizing that this isn't something that you want to be ashamed of, or you don't want to say me too, or I'm affected by something. There's no shame in mental health, right? That's the most important thing, is your mental health, because if you don't have that, you'll be open for all kind of other issues. So if the enemy is going to get in your head to tell you to take yourself out or somebody else, you want to shield yourself from that. However, this is interesting because there's some, talk, like maybe there was a note or something that was left, because people find it hard to believe that somebody who was so positive and so motivating and so determined, like I heard that he auditioned for this, the So You Think You Can Dance 3 times before he got on there. He had to come back, 2 years, for 3 years straight. And on the 3rd year, he was finally accepted. But he was somebody who, they saw the talent in him. They saw the natural gift, but his choreography moves weren't tight. So they kept encouraging him to, work on it and practice and come back. And he did. He came back a 2nd time, and they sent him back again. So he came back a 3rd time. That shows a strong determination. That shows a strong personality, because most people would give up after the first no. You go try out for something, you do what you think is your best job, and you get a no. Most people would just give up there. But this shows that tWitch had a very strong, determined personality, that he was determined he was going to make it. He was going to be successful. You can see from what we hear that he had that determination since he was young. That was always in him. So it's hard to believe that somebody with so much hope, would be pulled down to something like that. That's why it's super important what we're talking about here today. And then 2, if this is something that's more dark, then this is another reason why we need to talk about this, because like I said, this kind of stuff is happening out there, and we need to shed light on it. All right, thank y'all for coming in. Please hit the like button on your way in too. Today we're talking about Stephen tWitch Boss, an entertainer who has, I'm going to say allegedly, deleted himself with a vague note and questions that people are asking and stuff like that. So Our second video is it's another news feed, right? So this was kind of short too, but these are just laying the foundations of the person, because a lot of times when they just give this cause of death of this whole deleting yourself, self-deletion, when it be something else, and the people that know that person are the ones that speaking up saying, no, that wasn't, he wasn't like that, or he or she didn't do that, or he or she, they find it hard to believe that the person would do that to themselves. So a lot of times you want to listen to family and friends too, right? The ones that, have a suspicions, because, everybody's not going to be wrong. So if you have some type of a gut intuition, you want to get trained to be able to listen to that voice and stuff like
Welcome
that.
back, 713. We're learning more this morning about the tragic death of popular dancer.
I'm sorry. Let me share the screen here with y'all. This here's from Good Day LA, and he's gonna give some little commentary here on that situation. Uh-oh.
At 713, we're learning more this morning about the tragic death of popular dancer and DJ Stephen tWitch Boss. According to TMZ, tWitch did leave behind a note in the Encino motel room where he died, alluding to challenges that he'd faced in the past. It's not exactly clear what those challenges are, what he's referring to. Law enforcement says that a common online theory claiming tWitch was facing financial issues is not true. His wife also telling officers that the couple had not fought or quarreled when he left their home on Monday.
Oh. Let me pause. Let me stop that. All right, so that was short and sweet, right? What I thought was very pertinent about that was that, they were trying to say financial stuff. Usually when someone has, made it like that successful, even if you were to lose all your money, just because you already went through the process of, breaking through and earning that, you'll be able to do it again. Like, there's sayings that said that if they took all the money and divided it up among everybody, that the top 1% within a certain amount of time would be, the wealthiest top 1% again, because you already know how to do something. Once you've done something once, you just wash, rinse, and repeat, and you get better at it. So I don't see that being a reason why he would delete himself if there was some loss of money, because he was still, doing this thing on the social media. He was blowing up on that, and we all know that there's a financial reward in this here content creation and stuff like that, and he had already did all that stuff. So I don't see that being a reason. And then why did the wife bring up the fact that there was no fighting or nothing like that involved? And if there wasn't any fighting, why was the whole I gotta run to the police officer? Where'd that come from? Like the things aren't matching up. All right, so let's get down to this third clip here. So I just want to put these little ones out there so we build in credibility to the character, so we can start, because maybe this might be one of those cases that we want to keep an eye on to make sure, our brother is getting the right justice too, because there's a lot of men out there that are suffering from abuse and from abuse from women, because people don't look at it like they don't see that kind of stuff, that maybe there are women out there that's doing this type of manipulation and stuff like that too. And I'm not making any kind of accusations. I'm saying that we need to look at all of these things too, because a lot of times when, like on these little true crimes and stuff, when people get away with, unaliving their spouse and they blame it on, try to say that the person did it to themselves. And then they have a history that they did it to a prior, spouse or something before that. The families have said, like they didn't believe it, even though, the police report said it, or the coroner's report or something like that said it. Okay, let's just go into this little third video. So I don't want to be.
Stephen tWitch Boss, dancer, choreographer, actor, and longtime.
One more again here. Thank y'all for being patient with me here.
EJ for the Ellen DeGeneres show took his own life just days after he celebrated a 9-year anniversary with his wife, Allison. The shocking news of Twitch's death has left fans wondering what happened, because Twitch was known for always spreading positivity, and he seemingly had it all: a beautiful family, a successful career, friends, and fans who adored him. Twitch's wife, Allison, is now speaking out on losing her husband, and this story is getting more heartbreaking by the day.
I have the sweetest husband that anybody could ever ask for.
Tuesday, December 13th, Stephen Twitch Boss took his own life at the age of 40, and the tragic news has left the world in complete shock. If you ever watched Twitch on So You Think You Can Dance or The Ellen Show, then you know he always seemed like the most positive person in the room, who lived his life to the fullest and thrived in the spotlight. On top of that, Twitch and his wife Allison's love story was straight out of a romance novel, and for so many people, they were the ultimate family goals. Twitch and Allison met back in 2010 when they were both contestants in season 7 of So You Think You Can Dance, and they both knew right then and there they found a partner for life.
I remember watching, I just walked in, I sat down, and the way he was addressing his partner, he was so kind and he was so helpful with her. And I just thought he was such a gentleman. So for me, I immediately had a crush on him.
Wow. Okay, look at there. So that's kind of like targeting, right? Wow. Look at there. She's got her. See that? Yeah, look at all this body language and stuff there. Look at that.
We shared a dance at the rap party of that season of So You Think You Can Dance, and we have been together ever since.
There was no thought.
Okay, so look how fast that went. Those are other red flags too, right? Getting rushed off into this whole big relationship. Narcissists are notorious for rushing you to these relationships. Okay, let's keep on listening.
Dialogue. There was no conversation or a first hangout. Literally, we danced and we were together, holding hands the very next day, and never looked back.
Absolutely.
In June 2013, after 2.5 years of dating, Twitch surprised Allison while filming a television commercial and popped the question in front of Allison's parents, who flew in for the special occasion.
You're easily my greatest inspiration. And I'll be honored if I could spend the rest of my life with you. So, Allison Holker, will you marry me?
Twitch and Allison got married in December 2013, and Twitch adopted Allison's daughter Wesley from a previous relationship. They also went on to have 2 more children, a son Maddox in 2016 and a daughter Zaya in 2019. Zaya celebrated her 3rd birthday on November 6th, and just 2 weeks later, Twitch and Allison appeared on the Jennifer Hudson show and revealed they had been talking about having more babies.
My youngest turned 3. I mean, it's just, no.
And that, too, all the childbirth and getting these kids and stuff too, that could be a cause of depression and drain and all that stuff too, and it just shows that not only women could be affected with this type of emotional, draining with being bogged down with relationships and all these different things that, could very well have been affecting him too. However, I'm just suspicious because he still just seemed so happy, kind of still even up to this point, where is the evidence that he was sad and, felt hopeless, the sad and hopelessness? I don't see that.
Oh, I know. It's so cute. Oh, so cute. Oh my God. Do you miss having a newborn in the house? I sure do.
Wait, look at that. Let me stop.
I think we.
Y'all see his, okay, let me see. I missed it.
I'd love to start trying for another one. Oh.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like he's eager to try to start for another one. Sometimes, when relationships be strained, one spouse, one partner may try to, add a baby as a, seal the deal, kind of keep, seal it up. Let's keep this thing going here.
Yeah.
What? How you feel? Look, she said she.
Yes, even she got it.
No, listen, we love. Listen, I. No, but we really do. I love the little babies. I love them, and to be quite, it's a constant conversation.
What's also incredibly sad is that just 4 days before Twitch took his own life, he celebrated his 9th anniversary with Allison and shared a sweet tribute on her Instagram. As you can see, there was absolutely nothing about Twitch's behavior that gave any signs he was struggling or in pain.
Exactly.
Family, friends, fans, and fellow celebs were all left completely shocked by the news of Twitch's death, and everyone is trying to make sense of this tragedy. Twitch's co-workers at The Ellen Show are said to be shaken, and one of his colleagues said that Twitch's suicide has left everyone lost for words. This is a shock, one former colleague said. He was a massive part of Ellen's team. He was part of the family. No one can ever understand why someone would do this, but this is completely out of character for him. I'm at a loss for
here go
words.
another person
Ellen
out
and
of
Twitch
character.
were very close, and everyone who watched The Ellen Show could tell their friendship was genuine. Following the news of Twitch's death, Ellen shared a tribute to him on Instagram and said she was heartbroken about losing someone who was like family to her. I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light, Ellen wrote. He was my family, and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya. As for the circumstances of Twitch's death, the police confirmed he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. However, fans are still wondering if anyone in Twitch's inner circle knew about the emotional anguish that led him to make this decision. On Tuesday, December 13th, Twitch's body was discovered in Oak Tree Inn Motel in Encino, Los Angeles, by a maid who entered his room to see why he hadn't checked out. The day before, Twitch walked into the motel and booked a room for one night using his own name. The manager at Oak Tree Inn told Radar Online that his staff didn't notice anything unusual when Twitch checked in, and he didn't appear
Him checking into a motel, that's unusual.
Visibly upset about anything. According to the manager, no visible suicide note was left, and Twitch only arrived with a small.
Well, wait a minute. According to if there was no visible suicide note, where did this now all of a sudden I saw something said they had a suicide note. So is that some new information they trying to put in there to keep painting the picture that this is what happened? Because if the manager didn't see no suicide note, where did, and then it's vague, like no one's really produced this suicide note to, read off what it says or anything. I'm just suspicious.
All bagged to the motel, which was found in his room at his time of death. Sadly, the motel is located just a 15-minute walk from Twitch and Allison's family home, and Allison realized something was wrong when she noticed Twitch left the house without his car. Allison...
I just don't see how that's something to be alarmed about, that, you leave your car, especially in Los Angeles, and with so much traffic. If there's something that's walkable, you're going to walk it, right? You're not going to try to worry about if you're going to be able to find a parking space and all that stuff, someplace to leave your car. So I don't see how that is alarming enough for me to run to the police.
Reportedly went to LAPD on Tuesday to tell them something was off because Twitch would never go anywhere without his car. Around the same time, police received a phone call from the Oak Tree Inn.
Wow.
The LA County Medical Examiner coroner subsequently confirmed that there were no signs of foul play. And while this news came as a complete shock to most people, many fans have pointed out that Twitch's wife Allison probably knew he was struggling with something because she ran to the police as soon as she noticed he left their home without his car. And although Allison has asked for privacy during this unimaginable, difficult time for her and her 3 children, she did release a statement to E! News to reflect on her husband's legacy. Stephen lit up every room he stepped into, Allison said. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and an inspiration to his fans. Allison said it would be an understatement to say that her husband left a legacy, adding that his positive impact will continue to be felt. I'm certain there won't be a day that goes by that we won't honor his memory, Allison added, and concluded with a message to her husband saying, Stephen, we love you, we miss you, and I will always save the last dance for you. As for fans on social media, everyone is saying they're completely stunned by the fact that Twitch took his own life because he really seemed to have it all. However, this goes to show that many people suffer in silence, and we as a society need to do much more when it comes to mental health, especially men's mental health. Because studies show that men are less likely to ask for help when it comes to depression and anxiety. Sad stories like Stephen Twitch Boss always hit different, one Twitter user wrote. It's true when they say people with the biggest smiles have the saddest hearts. These are always reminders to check on your people. We work on our physical appearances more than our mental health as a society. And
that
another
is true.
person wrote, I am devastated by the suicide of Twitch. I've been a fan since season 4 of So You Think You Can Dance. Can we please normalize depression in men? We've lost too many men to this.
Exactly.
Stop toxic masculinity and allow men to be human beings. R.I.P. Stephen. If you'd like to share your thoughts on mental health and ways we can prevent these types of...
That was pretty interesting there. And she's got a great point too, that, you know, more often men aren't really seeking too much, you know, for their emotional and mental well-being, you know. So we want to, I didn't close myself out. We want to make that, you know, not a bad negative thing for, here we go, right here. For the men, you know, not a, sorry. Okay, there we go. I'm back in the house. And thank y'all for hitting the like button on your way in here. And while we, you know, talk about this situation here, which, I did not close myself out. All right, so I'm just saying this is a pretty eye-opening information here. And yes. All right, so the next one here is going to be a little bit edgy here, because this person did a little bit of research and has some information, you know, has the receipts. So we're going to go over that. And then, of course, if I see any red flags or signs, body language, all that stuff, I'll be highlighting and pointing it out. I think I want to switch it to a male's perspective first. I'm going to play this here from a man's perspective. And this is a new subscriber that I just tuned into. Since this is dedicated to the men too. So I want to get him. This is JD Black. And subscribe to him, give him a like. And his episode is going to be a popular dancer, Stephen Twitch Boss, loses life at age 40 of self-suicide after wedding anniversary. So after the wedding anniversary, that's significant. So here we go.
Little Black, shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Stephen Twitch Boss, dancer and a former DJ of Ellen DeGeneres, okay? Reportedly, he passed away, and he passed away due to him ending himself at a hotel that he had just checked in. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children. At the age of 40, he's no longer here. There is a trend that I have been seeing recently of men ending their own lives. You saw it recently with Jason David Frank. He got into an argument with his wife at a hotel, and he ended up ending himself.
Oh, I didn't hear about him.
And we left with these questions. You know, a guy that's known for bringing so much joy to other people, as a dancer, you know, always with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
If you go to his social media, he is dancing with his wife, as if everything is good, like there's no problems, there's no issues, right? So what would drive a man who seemingly has everything? He has a loving wife, family, people that love him and adore him.
Yeah.
What would drive him to do what he did? What is driving men in 2022 to say, you know, I no longer want to be here?
Exactly.
I no longer want to be
When he
alive
had
anymore.
so much.
I'm ready to leave my family behind, because in these situations, the family gets left behind.
Yes.
They have to pick up the pieces.
And 2 babies?
His wife is going to be a widow. The children without a father. What drives these men to do this? I saw, and I'm going to bring it up.
And I'm just going to stop right there real quick to say that okay, so we've seen this situation before. It's not uncommon that, men have been unaliving themselves. But most of the thing that we find that the common thread behind that was that they had lost everything. Most of them had went through a bad divorce, had lost their children. Some type of significant loss had been involved. We didn't see this here. They supposedly was celebrating the 9th anniversary, kicking around, maybe might be a new baby or something like that. So where is this huge loss? Where is the huge loss that would support him wanting to check out?
Where he talked about overcoming hardships in his life, getting to where he is. I have no doubt that there are things that he has dealt with that he has been able to have control over, because when people go through things, they're able to control how it makes them feel. That's why comedians come from a dark place, and they're able to bring joy to other people by using their traumas and the things they've gone through as a way to entertain others, because it's a way to get through that trauma. This man seemingly had everything, but decided it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
He checked into the hotel. The staff said that everything seemed normal. Didn't seem like there was any issues. But a lot of times, us as men, we're not allowed to show our emotions. We're not allowed to be too transparent, because if we are, people are going to see us as weak.
Yeah, it's true.
A lot of times we can bottle things up for so long that we just want to let go. What was the purpose of going to the hotel? What did he need to do?
Yeah.
This is sad because, again, the family gets left behind to pick up the pieces. Something deep inside him said, I couldn't do it anymore. I could not have this smile on my face to entertain others, because me on the inside falling apart, and I can't hold on to it. Us as men, we go through pain and frustration, things that you would think we would be able to control, but we can't. So what we do is we entertain, we put on a mask, we pretend like everything is okay, but it isn't. In 2022, we have everything. And you would think that because we have everything, that we'd be happy. This man has a beautiful wife, family, seemingly good career. His wife as well. But it wasn't enough to fill that void that he had. A lot of people don't understand the void. There's a void deep inside of us. The more we have, the more that void actually grows. Because we feel like we should have more than what we have. And we should be happy, but we aren't. We still have that emptiness that grows until it overtakes us, and there's nothing left of us. There's nothing left but a shadow of who we were. Pain that gets more and more and more. It's not a physical pain, it's more of a mental pain. Mental illness and mental health, it should be more awareness.
Yes. And I have that link in the description box, y'all, to click the link. If you need support, click that link, and it's a whole site there that can help you guide you where you need to go.
But us as men, we have to work through it.
Yes, men.
We're not allowed to say that we're hurt. We're not allowed to really say something is wrong. We see it, it's seen as a stigma. Nobody cares about men in 2022. Look at how they treat men.
Yeah. And the sad thing is that, we are all in our own little self here because women are saying the same thing. Nobody cares about women. I'm on my other channel talking about women's voices. And this man here has a legitimate concern for the men. So everybody's thinking it's just them, but I want to say this because it's not just men or women. It's everybody. Everybody could be a victim and everybody can be an abuser. It doesn't determine or distinguish between genders if you're going to be good or bad, right? So, this is super eye-opening for me too, because, a lot of times we're just thinking about ourselves and we don't realize that men are hurting too. Men are hurting too, and we have to find a way to be able to reach them, to help them to where it's acceptable and not what we're doing right now. It's not good.
Look at how they throw men under the bus. Look how they attack masculinity. Men don't have a place. They don't think they have a place in this world anymore.
That's true.
Even when they are a husband and a father, they don't feel like they have a place in this world anymore. But he had a place in this world, and it's unfortunate. I would hope that he had reached out to people and talked to them, but a lot of times, you hold things in until it consumes you, and once it consumes you, there's nothing you can do. Again, the hotel staff, they said they didn't seem like anything was wrong with him. He seemed like he was perfectly fine, right? But you have people that may have chosen to end it all who will be normal because they don't want to alarm anyone. They don't want anyone to stop them from what they're doing. It's just like when I spoke about this young female who wrote a note saying that she was leaving this earth. She was content. She was content to leave this earth and never come back. This is sad for a lot of reasons, but I think it's sad because I wish there was somebody that could have talked to him, gave him confidence that you didn't have to go this route, that your family are going to need you, your friends are going to need you.
It's an awful stigma that's left behind when someone has deleted themselves. It's very difficult for the people that's left behind. It just seems like such a selfish act. That's why it's hard for me to believe that this caring individual here, Twitch boss, would do something like that, because it's not the character. He was giving, he was hardworking, he was determined. If his character showing him being super determined and not easily feeling, giving up, I don't see him giving up like that. It's to just say, it's over. I don't see that. He went back to that You Think You Can Dance audition 3 times. 3 times. He didn't say, oh, no, they ain't picked me because I'm black. He didn't. He kept going back, showing determination that he's not going to be deterred. He's going forward. He's making his dreams come true. So how now all of a sudden that the dreams are here, you done manifested them, that you say, oh, I'm just going to throw it all away. That's why I feel more needs to be done here too, because, this is just not this character from what we see. It doesn't add up.
Or the people that follow you, the people that you give inspiration to. You see, there's a lot of other people who are in the position, unfortunately, of Stephen, and they feel like giving up.
Yeah.
They feel like it's not worth it anymore. They feel like, why am I here? I have nothing but this trauma, this pain, these issues that just won't go away. Every time I accomplish something great, it comes back.
But that wasn't the case here. He was continually moving up. He just kept growing and expanding. Hey, Narrative, thank you. Narrative's here says, greeting, watching at work in the background. Great topic. Thank you. Thank you. This is I appreciate that. I was feeling like this definitely needs a voice.
You know, it comes back. It tells me I'm not good enough. It tells me that I haven't accomplished enough. It tells me that, you know, I'm not a good husband or good father. You know, you hear that noise. That's all it is. It's noise. You'd hope that somebody would be there to be able to tell them that everything is okay, to tell them that there is no problems whatsoever going on in your life. Your life is in your hands. You can control everything that's going on. But we don't hear that voice. We hear the loud naysaying voice that, you know, tells us that, you know, we are our own worst enemy. We aren't worth saving.
I don't know, y'all. I don't think that was his self-dialogue. I really don't. So I'm going to pause that video there because I want to bring the next content creator up because she's coming from a different perspective. And I really appreciate Jay the Black's his point of view here, because a lot of men do need to hear this, and we as a society need to figure out how we can help one another, how we can reach one another, because we have the women who are suffering over here by them ourselves, and then we have the men who are suffering, and everyone is feeling like their voices aren't being heard. And it is because that's how they design it, by keeping everybody feeling like they are separated, and it's us against y'all. You know, it's men against women, you know, me against you. So we don't realize that if we come together as just human beings, what we can do here for this earth, right? So we're gonna have to learn this real soon. All right, so our next video is from Tessa Taylor.
Hey guys, listen, just want to.
And she's gonna have a very interesting point of view. I didn't get a chance to. Here we go. Swap out the screen here, and we're gonna take a listen to this one and
Bring you an update on what's going on with the death of Stephen Twitch Boss. If you guys don't know, of course you know Twitch unfortunately deleted himself from this earth on December 13th, and there are so many questions remaining. You guys, it looks like we have some of the answers to those questions, but it makes all the more questions. Listen, let's talk about what we know. There was a suicide note. We're going to talk about what was in the suicide note.
Okay.
We're also going to talk about how his grandfather is saying this doesn't make sense because he had just talking to him, and also the last words to the grandfather. And also, we're going to actually hear a first-hand account of the person that found the body, but why they think that the gunshot, there was no mention that everybody said they couldn't hear or they didn't hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. There's a lot to unpack.
Okay,
but
thank
let's
you.
just agree. One of the reasons that this has startled so many is because so many of us felt like we knew them. It was like a parasocial relationship, if that. But let's get into these reports, and then I'm going to tell you how this all plays in, okay? So they're saying Stephen Twitch Boss left at least one clue as to what his struggles were leading up to his suicide. And it came in a note alluding to challenges he's faced in the past. Now, I've seen a lot of reports online that he suffered from bipolar. He was on a 5150 hold. I'll tell you the truth. You know me, I research. I haven't been able to confirm any of that, right?
Okay.
But this note alludes to challenges he faced in the past. Now, get this. Law enforcement sources tell us Twitch's note left at the scene of his suicide was an ambiguous reference to his past challenges.
Ambiguous. Wow.
It's unclear what he was referring to in the note. Now, let me just say this, right? We do not know the exact words that were in the suicide note. The grandfather talks about what was in the note too.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that in a second. But I will just say, we are the general public, and it's a parasocial relationship.
Yep.
Just because it's unclear what he was alluding to, whether it was mental health, whether it was financial, whether there was other stress that were going on, just because it's alluding to us doesn't mean the people that he actually wrote the suicide note That doesn't mean that they don't know exactly what he was talking about. So do you see me? Ambiguous and unclear what it's alluding to us, but I'm sure to his family, who I assume he was writing a note to, they knew exactly what he was talking about. Now get this.
Yeah.
They said we're told investigators had determined Twitch took an Uber from his home to the motel, less than a mile away from his home Monday morning. Now this fact is interesting because it was first suspected that he walked from his home to the place because two things. One, his car was in the driveway the whole time. And two, that motel was only 15 minutes away from his house. So people, including investigators, thought that he had walked. However, and again, his cause of death is still being determined as a suicide, but it's just another interesting layer that he actually took an Uber. So it was a 15-minute walk, so he took an Uber. So it was basically like a 5-minute Uber ride or 6-minute Uber ride. But then again, knowing LA traffic, it might have been a 15-minute Uber ride, but he did take an Uber. But get this also. A lot of people are asking, how come nobody called him? How come his wife, this and that? They're saying that the investigators are telling TMZ that he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach or track him. No one could reach or track them. Now, TMZ did break the story that Allison was frantic when she showed up at an LAPD location Tuesday. That was on the 13th, the day his body was found, saying Twitch left home without notice and wasn't answering her calls. Okay, it's important to know Allison also said that they had no problems, which led to a lot of people speculating, like, wait, so you and your husband weren't arguing, you guys had no problems.
Yeah.
He left his house unexpectedly. There's 3 small children. On Monday, right, during the day, you left your house, 3 small children, you just disappeared. She didn't know where you were. There's 3 small children. Even the 3 small children, they didn't ask for daddy as they went to sleep. You look outside, your car's parked in the driveway.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the very next day that she around, it's unclear what time she ran to the police station.
And you
could have been early
frantic.
morning, could have been not. I'm going to read and see if we can get the exact time. But you went into a police station frantic, not even 911, because you knew something was wrong with your husband, because it was so out of character for the car to be in the driveway. Now, I do want to say this, right? The one thing, it does seem like, but the one thing we might be missing, and again, they don't owe us anything, Allison could have been away with the kids. She could have been spending the night at a friend's house with the kids. We're assuming that Allison and the kids were home. She could have literally showed up that morning, right? And been like, Twitch, where's your car? His car's here, but he's not home. Called him, phone with the voicemail. And because she knows her husband, she flipped out and was like, this is unlike you. And she ran to the police station. I'm just putting on.
Yeah. Excuse me. I don't know. That just sounds like a bologna sandwich.
Alternative theories, because again, the police are ruling this as a suicide. But let's get into what the grandfather has to say, because I think this is actually really, really important. The grandfather is saying that he's saying that he is still not sure that his grandson's death was a suicide.
Well,
though LAPD confirmed that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound that killed him.
LAPD. Now they already got them a reputation, right? LAPD. And then we heard in one of the videos where the manager at the motel said they didn't see no suicide note, right? So I don't know. Maybe this might be some kind of a cover-up too. Again,
grandfather's saying that he's not sure it was a suicide, right? And let's also not forget that Twitch celebrated his wedding anniversary with his wife 3 days before shooting himself in the head. But there's more, you guys. The grandfather literally says that he's not sure it was a suicide because he said that Twitch messaged him before his death saying, I love you, Dad, right? And he did that 4 days before his death. Eddie Boss, he's 84, said that there were no signs of stress in the weeks or months leading up to his death. He said, we spoke as recently as Saturday. on more than one occasion. So he left his house on Monday, right? Tuesday, that's when his body was found. But he had spoken to his grandfather, dad, on Saturday multiple times. Okay.
And then him having a male figure in his life like that with a grandpa, you would, I believe the grandpa. He know his grandson. He would have reached out to him, would have been like, Papa, this is happening. I'm feeling this way. Something. I just don't see. Usually when these kind of things happen and if family is saying that they're, suspicious, they don't believe that it's a self-deletion, that's something to keep your mind on. Think about that because, yeah.
His grandfather goes on to say that he was a very humble, generous person.
Yep.
He brought light into everybody's lives. We're completely devastated right now. All I can say is, he was just a beautiful person that contributed so much to this world and to everyone he met in a positive way. We will miss him dearly and we're hurting tremendously. There's Eddie, who traveled from Arizona to be with the family. The grandfather is in LA right now, is urging others to look out for warning signs in their loved ones. He said, every word has meaning.
Yes.
His last words, again, simple text that says, I love you, Dad. He said, our question is why? Where did this come from? Needless to say, the grandfather is heartbroken, and he keeps reiterating that there were no signs that the dancer was troubled in the weeks before his death. Wow. I do also want to say, a lot of you guys were in the comments and just people on social media, just because people think they know what depression looks like, and people think depression are people just crying all the time and beside themselves. And that could be what some people's depression looks like. But they also say that people think they know what when people are ready to delete themselves looks like. And oftentimes people are just on the outside, front facing, acting like everything's normal. Meanwhile, there is a war raging in their heart, in their mind. Some people even describe the way they hear voices saying you're worthless. Nobody wants you here.
Yes, I don't want to go off that. I just think it's very significant that the grandpa is like feeling suspicious of this whole thing. I'm curious to see what the rest of his family is saying, because from the few videos that we saw earlier, like we only saw, we didn't see any of his family. We didn't see any of them. And it just seems so out of character, And we've heard this kind of stuff happen before.
Why don't you just end it? Like, there's so many ways that it shows. So just because it doesn't show traditionally, if nobody's ever had these type of thoughts, just because it doesn't show the way you think it is traditionally, doesn't mean that they weren't there. And I think that's some of the confusion the grandfather could be feeling. But I don't want to discount the way the grandfather feels. If he feels like something's not adding up, then he knows him better. Again, he was found dead in a room at the Oak Tree Hotel in LA, which was a 15-minute walk from his LA home, but yet he chose to take an Uber. The coroner's office is saying there were no signs of foul play. And oddly enough, Ellen played tribute to him. And Ellen, she's been having quite a crazy, again, Ellen's not the focus of this, but now you have to go to Twitch's funeral. And before that, Ann Hesh also died, trapped in a fiery blaze for 45 minutes before passing away in the hospital. You guys, let's just actually get to this. Let's get to what the person that was on the eyewitness is saying. Ooh, this is just heavy.
It is.
So again, a maid discovered Twitch's body while performing a welfare check after he failed to check out on time. So he didn't check out on time. And you know how I never knew that's what they called it, welfare checks. You know how when you're supposed to check out at 11 and it's 11:15 and the phone rings and you pick up the phone like, hello? Oh, yeah. Oh, is it already 11? Okay, yeah, I'll be out of here in like 20 minutes. Meanwhile, your suitcase is all over the place and you just came out the shower. But apparently one of the reasons why they call you over and over to see if you pick up is that supposed to be a welfare check, because apparently a lot of times these things do happen in hotels and motels. So They then knocked to enter the room. Now listen to this. They said that Twitch used his own name to check into the motel on Monday and was not discovered until Tuesday morning. Workers said he shot himself in the head, but they're saying, all the workers are saying that no one heard a gunshot, describing the scene as pretty bad. This is the person that found the body. Again, he left home without his car, and when he didn't return on Tuesday, disappearing overnight, his wife frantically ran to file a police report. Now, the manager of the Oak Tree, Rakesh, says he went into his room and he never came out. At 11:15 a.m. on Tuesday, the maid opened the door to check on the room. There was stuff in there, but no one there. She checked the bathroom and there was blood everywhere. She was very scared. This is the first time anything like that has happened here.
Yeah.
We called 911 and they told us to check his pulse, but there was nothing there. The paramedics and the police came and they said he was dead. Maybe he did it during the day on Monday. It was a busy, loud road outside here. It's possible nobody heard it because of that.
True.
Now they're saying that Twitch called ahead at around 9:02 a.m. on Monday to check if rooms were available and then walked the few blocks from his home. That's what they first thought. Now they know that it was actually an Uber and appeared completely normal and calm. This is so sad. Twitch and Allison, they were set to, their 9-year anniversary. There's just so much going on, but it's just so interesting that he called ahead on 9:02 a.m. Monday. He appeared completely normal and calm. And a lot of you guys in the comments said that you guys have read or even experienced that when people are ready to leave this earth, they somehow get very, very calm, almost determined, like they've completely given up. You guys, I have in this video had the suicide hotline information there. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you are dealing with these thoughts.
Yes.
You are dealing with these thoughts. Know that you are loved.
Yes.
Know that you are needed.
Yes.
And know that even though it seems dark so much, there is something, there is a light. You were put here for a purpose.
Yes.
And please don't extinguish that light too early.
Thank you. Thank you, Tessa. That was a wonderful tribute there. And the last words also super important too. And again, in the description box, there's the suicide prevention link there, and they have a lot of different resources there for you to explore and get to, the bottom, the heart of your situation, so you know that there's options. You don't have to do anything like that. Again, there and reaching out to friends and families, and again, these prevention lines and stuff. And for you men out there to know that there is no shame, there's nothing in knowing that you may need some help with your mental status. Mental status, super important that you know that you are wanted here and loved. And we need y'all here. We need everybody here. Everybody is here and needed. So that was from Tessa Tales. And the next video now, we're going to be looking at maybe some, this here is the interview that they did on Jennifer Hudson's show. It's going to show the two of them together. And we're going to be looking for signs
Our next guests are
in their connection together and stuff. So just like how we were analyzing with the Derek Jackson stuff, to show the mannerisms and some of the things that these abusers do, the ones that are in control, to see these signs here. All right, here we go. I didn't even know Jennifer Hudson had a talk show. I'm old, y'all. 52. I didn't know about this here stuff here. So this Jennifer
Answers
Hudson.
TV host and one of the cutest couples on TikTok. Their new special is called Hip Hop Nutcracker. Please welcome Twitch and Allison Boss.
First of all, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
It's been a minute.
Oh my God, it's been a minute because you helped me do the practice shows
Yes, I did.
to get the show.
Yes, I did.
So thank you for that.
Of
And thank
course.
you for being here. It's an honor to be
And
here.
then
It's my first time meeting you. Let me shake your hand again, Allison. See,
of many. First of many.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see y'all on TikTok so much. So, right? Don't you just love when y'all energy is amazing? Y'all a whole move together. How does it feel being back on the Warner Brothers side? What is it like?
It's a lot of things. It's like I felt like.
So noticing how she's rubbing his back, right? Why is she doing that? Why is she rubbing his back? Like, what did this here, Derek Jackson, right? Look at that energy. Let's watch the energy here.
I mean, we spent a lot of time here, seeing a lot of familiar faces, and it's just a lot of history here, and it's still the same feeling though. Still joy, smiles, you know what I mean? It really is. It's great, right? And also, isn't she doing great? Just real quick, let me just.
Okay, I missed it there, but notice his body language too. His posture is he's pulling a back away from
Give you your flowers real quick.
Allison.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay, so you guys first met on So You Think You Can Dance?
Yes, we did. It was so amazing. You know, I was out there making all these moves, and it took him a second to see them, but once he did, we locked it in. We locked it in.
So you made the first move.
Of course I did.
Wow. Clue.
I'm a little oblivious though. You know what I mean? Because it's like this. She's also, okay, let me preface it. She's also incredibly nice and welcoming and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be like, yeah, she's feeling me. You know what I mean?
Hold on. I was like arms swooning, like all the passes, trying to do all that stuff, and he was oblivious.
I mean, yeah, literally, she was feeling me, feeling me.
Physically.
During dance rehearsals, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't catch on. I was, but obviously I caught on.
You caught on to something.
Yeah,
Y'all get together.
I'll say this.
You can bust some serious moves.
When he locked it in, he took me onto the dance floor. We've been together ever since.
Oh, that's such a beautiful love story, right? Look at y'all are adorable. And then y'all make some amazing TikTok videos. Like, how long does it take you? How long did it take you to make this one?
Because honestly, TikTok is fun. It's fun. You know what I mean? We loved it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Who even do
Wow.
Y'all see how look how genuinely happy I look. Look, she's super happy.
Wow. Okay.
She did it on the second time.
Second time, yeah.
Yeah.
The first try was not successful
At all.
and I dropped it. But here's a chance to go up and we did it again. Killed it. We nailed it.
Yeah.
You definitely did it. I just want to know. So, do y'all pick and choose who gonna pick the moves, or one of y'all pick the moves and then you do it? Like, how does that work? Since you go dancing?
Dance is like it's I guess like a second language to us,
Yeah.
right? So honestly, we'll just turn on music and start moving, and the steps just kind of choreograph themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you pick your TikToks.
Honestly, it's like we communicate through dance. So it literally we can look at each other and we just can read each other and know exactly what's about to happen. And so it's our love language, you know?
Aww.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Aww. Okay. Let's see here.
Are your kids a part of the video sometimes?
Oh yes, the kids are definitely a part of the video. So our kids are they're not shy at all.
At all. Not at all. And sometimes we worry sometimes about it.
Yeah,
We love
a
it.
little too much.
But we worry.
Oh, they're not shy at all. They're just like, they don't ask like where they need to be. They just kind of walk in front of the camera. It's like, I'm here.
Aww.
So your youngest just turned 3?
Yeah, so
She's so cute.
absolutely. Yeah. Our youngest turned 3. I mean, it's just
But y'all see how he's warmed up now? So look like some conditioning happening there. Now he's warmed up and the energy has changed.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Oh, so cute. Oh my God. Do you miss having a newborn in the house?
I sure do.
Oh, here we go. Ah, there you go. There we go. Now y'all see that division up in there too. But I don't know. I don't want to get too deep on this here subject there, because sometimes I could be on that avenue as being pretty out there, seeing some deep signs and stuff like that out there. However, this was pretty. I really enjoyed that. Let me just see what else I got going here before I I'm just gonna go on and let it play. I'll just probably keep my. Yeah, we're gonna do it. I got it. I ain't scared. Here we go. Let's go ahead and finish up. We're almost done. It's only a few more minutes. Coming in for a landing, y'all.
Uh-oh.
I think we would love to start trying.
I just think it's significant that we see his energy and behavior does not look like I'm ready to check out, right? It's not that.
For another one.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? How you feel? Look, she said she missed it. How you feel?
No, listen, we love. Listen,
He's probably one of those husbands that, whatever she says type, you know what I mean? So that could be a reason too to be depressed too as a man, if you don't have a voice and your wife or your mate or your spouse or whatever is the one driving everything. It could take a toll on your emotional stability too. If you're we used to call it henpecked back in the day. Yeah.
No, but we really do. I love the little babies. I love them, and to be quite, it's a constant conversation.
Okay. Well, with that being said, you have your oldest in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow. So
What's
that like?
Our oldest is 14. She's a freshman, but she's incredible, man. Like, she's so cool. She's such a good kid.
Yeah.
Like, she's so respectful. I mean, look at her. She's stunning.
Absolutely.
She actually just went to her first high school dance. She went to humming.
Yeah, she did.
So was this like a first date? Did she have a date?
She did have a date, Jennifer.
And how did she look at you? Here you go again. You're like, okay, Jennifer, all right.
Yeah, she did.
And what was that like?
It was. Listen, I'm gonna say this. When you have a partner in crime like this right here, it also helps me increase my emotional intelligence, right? Because, obviously, I'm like, and look, for y'all that know me,
y'all know who they remind me of? Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, right? I don't know. Is it just me?
I'm like, hey, Twitch guy. But when it comes to my daughter, I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, what camera we on? Like, like it's that. It's that. You see what I'm saying? And but she really helps me to realize, yo, it's all good. We all did it. We have to do this. This is part of it. So and also Wesley is just dope. So she attracts dope people, and that's exactly what's been happening, man.
Trust the teacher.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, this new special, the Hip Hop Nutcracker. Tell us about it. This sounds so amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. The Hip Hop Nutcracker is going to be on Disney Plus, and it is basically a take on what is a classic ballet, but we added a hip hop element to it. We have, it still follows the story, and
wow,
you're talking about an all-star cast of dancers, y'all. It's just absolutely incredible.
I mean, we're just so honored to be a part of it. We play the mom and dad, and I feel like I grew up doing the Nutcracker. I feel like I've played so many different roles in this, but this felt like more of a family feel because every single person, we've been in the dance community for our entire lives. Everyone in the film we've known for about 15 years. Yeah, everyone from the crew to production to the cast, and so it's just every day felt so magical and special being on that set. So we're so excited about it.
100%.
I'm excited about it.
I wonder if that project was if it got finished. That would would be interested to see that. How sad too that now he's not here. How sad, Wow. All right. So let's see, where did I just leave over here? 4, 5, and here is 6 up here. No, I did that one already. 4, 5. Oh, here's the short. So we're gonna do like 2 more, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up. Thank y'all for coming in here, and please, if you will, hit the like button on your way in. On your way in there. All right. So our next one is going to be a short on the wife.
Allison Holker breaks silence on husband Steven Twitch boss death.
All right, so this is going to be real quick here. So a little quick short. And because I don't know, has anybody heard any real words come out of her mouth? Any kind of something? I've only heard people read a statement that she put in there. I haven't heard her to say anything, no real words. If anybody has, please, we'd like to share that here too. All right, here we go.
After confirming Steven Twitch boss death, Allison Holker reflected on how her husband lit up every room he stepped into, was the backbone of our family and inspired fans. In a December 14th statement confirming the former Ellen DeGeneres show DJ's death, the mom of 3 reflected on his legacy. It is with the heaviest of hearts that I have to share my husband Stephen has left us. Stephen lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and an inspiration to his fans. To say he left a legacy would be an understatement, and his positive impact will continue to be felt, she continued. I am certain there won't be a day that goes by that we won't honor his memory. We ask for privacy during this difficult time for myself and especially for our 3. Allison Holker breaks silence.
All right, so that was, sorry, y'all. Get my thing up off of here. Yeah, that was it on that one there. Wow. Now, I'm really sad that I didn't really know about him. So I guess I'll be in a rabbit hole now. I'm just trying to get as much information about him as possible, especially since, now we're going into this, during this time, it's a thing called seasonal depression that happens during these holiday times. And y'all, we have been a lot of tragedy. We had this Shanquilla Robinson thing happening. We finding out more stuff about femicide. And now we're hearing that we have a lot of healing that's needed for our men. And there's a lot. It's been very heavy, and here we are at this last part of the year. And during this time, the holiday time, is when, a lot of times people will delete themselves. All right, we got in this comment here. Hey, and Alice says, hey, Trey RN in chat. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Yeah, so during this time is when, we want to be really aware of it, because it's very easy, if someone is already feeling down, to get pushed off to the, go in the wrong direction with this. And you only have to, be unalived once, right? So that's why it's important. Like I said, I've got the link in the description for the suicide prevention. And just for it, we're bringing more awareness to it. So it's no shame in clicking the link. It's no shame in talking to people. They have now too, where you can get help online over the phone. There's virtual appointments that you can have with a therapist or a physician, for help out there. It's 2022. We want to make sure that we are bringing awareness to this whole situation here. And I think I got one more video I can pull up there. Okay, this here is a tribute from an actor named Columbus, which I don't know him either. I need to step up my skills here. I need to step up my skills to which I am. I'm doing that too, y'all. Is this it? Let's see. No. Oh, okay, now I need to finish back with the video that we stopped in the middle of. J.D. Black. We're gonna finish up his video, and I wanted to take a pause on his to show Tessa's video, so we can now put the two together. So we got both these perspectives, and so let's go ahead and get finished up here with J.D. Black's video, because we did not finish. And now this may bring a little more clarity to his perspective.
Will never be good enough. And a lot of times, a lot of guys they give up. 2022, men are not happy. You see, when you see people in society and media attack men, you got to understand it hurts.
Yeah.
A lot of men out here who are doing things the right way. They're like, why are they attacking men, talking about patriarchy and talking about, male privilege, taking acting roles away from men, producing jobs, right? Because they want to be inclusive. A lot of men are being pushed out of certain markets. for the sake of diversity and inclusion. That hurts men. It drives them into depression. I'm not saying that that's what's going on with Stephen, but that's going on with other men as well, who feel lost, who feel like they're under constant scrutiny and attack. Nobody's there to protect them and tell them that they're doing things the right way. No one cares about men. No one cares about men in 2020.
It's just sad that we each feel that way, right? And I can hear like he's sincere. He really feels that, you know, men are getting the short end of the stick, and the same way women are feeling that way too. And I'm just saying that's why they do this, so everybody's going to think they're in their own pain and we don't come together. It's a way to just keep us, you know, like this at each other, right? And so we're not going to get anywhere until we each heal. Like I always say, when you get on the airplane, they always tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you help the person next to you. And that's because if you are fumbling around trying to help somebody else out and you haven't gotten your oxygen mask on, you're going to pass out. Then they're going to pass out because you weren't there to help them out. So the best thing that we can do is to help yourself, right? So you being the best woman that you can be, able to encourage to help your man be the best man that he can be also too. And that's how we're going to get through this thing, by self-love and healing ourselves one person at a time.
22. It's all about women. It's all about female empowerment. The future is female.
Yeah, the sad thing is that women don't feel this way. Like he's saying these things, and women are feeling the total opposite. So we are each feeling this way, and it's not true. It's not true for either one of us.
You don't care about the good men out here who just want to be husbands and fathers. No one cares about that.
We do. We care about you, brother.
That's all they care about. You know, they only care about inclusion and making sure that women are represented. At what cost? At what cost? We are at a time where men feel so beaten down. And that's why you're seeing an increase of these guys taking their lives. A lot of y'all think, oh, I can't believe that this is going on. This is going on because this is the programming that have been instilled in society for years.
Come on, you telling the truth on
and
that.
Now you're starting to see the ramifications of it.
And the same programming for women too, right? The same programming that devalues women and don't place the value on the women's life. It's the same thing happening to these men too, is what I'm saying, is that we are each suffering the same fate, but everybody's focusing on it not being fair for their gender when it's not fair for any of our genders.
Men who seem like they have perfectly good lives going on, ending themselves. It is because of the programming in society that tells men they're not good enough. Increasing that void that they already have in them. Sad all around.
Yeah.
What can we do? What can we do to fix the void that we have? What can we do to make sure that men like this, who seemingly have everything great going on in his life, doesn't want to just say enough of this, can't do it anymore?
Yeah, what can we do?
This shouldn't be happening in 2022, but this is where we are, people. This was 3 days ago.
Wow.
This was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
You want to see another post? This was 4 days ago. This was 4 days ago, people. This was his wedding anniversary.
Wow.
With his wife. 4 days ago. They were celebrating their wedding anniversary. Perfectly, good people.
Yeah.
Should not be in these situations.
And he had so much to look forward to. This whole soul nutcracker or whatever, the project that they just talked about. That's a lot to look forward to. Like I don't.
It's a lot of questions.
It is a lot of questions.
And probably a lot of things that we will never know about what happened in this situation. I want men to understand that you can get help. You're never too tough. You never, you don't have to, it's nothing unmanly about, seeking help, seeking guidance from others and advice. Because we're all at times where we're done, we had enough, but there's always something to fight for.
Yes.
See, we only live once in this society, once. We only get one chance to get it right. And we should make the best of it.
Yes, come
but
on.
Sometimes it's never enough to fill that void that a lot of men have these days, unfortunately. Hopefully, we can stop this type of thing from happening. But the way society is nowadays, I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm very hopeful. But until things really start to change, the direction that we're heading in, you're going to start to see more of this. So rest easy to Stephen, Twitch Boss. Salute to everybody that's tuning in.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Come from Jay the Black. Jay the Black. And I really appreciated his perspective being a man. And I could hear and feel his pain and concern about his fellow, men too, and I have heard, a few cases and stuff, of men, checking out. And like I said, usually it's right after a tremendous loss, like through a divorce, they've lost their family, their kids, something like that, a job or something like that, some big major loss. And again, like I said, during this time here, it's not uncommon that people will, use this time to unalive themselves and stuff too, because during these holiday times, a lot of times it's easy to get depressed, especially if you're having some financial issues or relationship issues, things like that. It's super important to call these hotlines, get online, go to these little groups and things like that to talk and be around people. And it really does help. Back in, I was going to say it was 1995. It was when I started my first business. It was called A Healthier Me. I was always ready to quit my job as a nurse to go start a business. So this ain't nothing new, y'all. I've been doing this for forever. But in 1995, I was 24. That had to be 96 because I was 25. So in 1996, I'm 25 and I'm going to start this business. And I got my first little LLC. And it was called A Healthier Me. And I was selling Herbalife. I was selling Herbalife through this network marketing. It was the first time doing something like that. And I had invested probably about like $8,000. And this was, at that time, that was a good chunk of my hard-earned money. But of course, me being a very confident person, knowing that I'm supposed to have success, I didn't have any problems investing and giving that, 100% of my, attention and try, right? So after a few months, the business goes belly up and I've lost all my money. I threw away my nurse's license, because I didn't think I was going to need that anymore because, I'm going to be a wealthy entrepreneur and, I won't be needing this here. I won't be needing this. So I let my license go. I didn't renew it. And after I realized that I was totally broke, my finances was in a mess, I was feeling like I didn't want to be here anymore. And at that time, I had a little 22, a little hand, 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐿 22. And I was, because I was like, how did this happen? Before all this happened, I was good with my money. I had a great job and, I was working a lot, overtime. I was good. And then when I had lost everything, I was, I didn't know what to do. I was, I felt, that was the first time that I felt like I just was like, let me just, get out of here. But because I had a son, I think my son was probably about like 3 or 4, probably like 4, right? And the thought of, somebody telling him that what mommy did or something like that, and to know that, he would have to live with that. And then also the thing that got me was I just kept reminding myself that tomorrow is another day. If I can just get through this day, tomorrow will be another day. I can try again. But for that whole day, I was extremely dark, and I handled the, strap for multiple times, really seriously contemplating checking out, because I felt like I was so hopeless that how could I have been so stupid to throw the money away on this? And, it was a scam, all this stuff, right? So all that to say is that if you're feeling this way now, with all of the resources available and everything now, a lot of things are virtual, you don't have to feel any shame for getting the help, because you can be anonymous, right? You can do that, virtually, and, get some help and make some changes. So that's why, like I said, the link is in the description box there. And this situation really hit hard for me because, it's a very touchy situation, because questions are, left behind. People want to know, like, was it something that I could have seen? How did I ignore this? Or how did I not see these signs? So, y'all been pretty quiet, though. I do appreciate y'all coming out, something different that I haven't talked about in this situation, on this platform here. But like I said, this morning when I woke up and saw that, I just remembered him from seeing him dancing on these shorts with the wife. And then for a brief moment, I thought that if he had, deleted himself, that it was because of all of the negative energy that he was getting from, look at here. What's up, the mortgage boss? Okay. Howdy. It's so hard to get out of a place of mentally, emotionally, especially when your feelings defy reasoning. Yes. Thank you so much for bringing that up. To, a lot of times we get shy and nervous or scared. We don't want to admit that, because it's such an ugly stigma is attached to having, a mental breakdown or feeling like, it's too much on you. So yes, I appreciate you and your comment. Beautiful mortgage boss up here. Shout out to the mastermind people here in the house. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's the reason why, I'm wanting to talk about this too, because again, like I said, I've got over 30 years of nursing history, and occasionally we would see the people, to come in there that, weren't successful with their attempt at deleting themselves, and the whole dynamics behind, what happens when you don't do a good job at it. You're not successful, and then you're here, and how do you face the people and explain to them, why you did that, when most of the time the people are just grateful that you weren't successful, but it's still, there's emotional and mental energies that's happening after that too. So it's a very, very deep situation here, very deep situation. And I just felt like I wanted to give a voice to it, especially because, I can't just say that it's all women, that we have to just stick up in support for women's health, because I have 2 sons and I have a little brother who Twitch looks like to me. He reminds me of my little brother. So, we all have men in our lives, we all had a father and stuff too. So we as women, we have to put some attention to men's mental health too. These are our men. And that's what I want to say too, especially in our community, the Black community, we have so much hatred for one another. It's really just starting to, it's taking its toll. And each of us is feeling like we are separated, like we're not in this together, right? Okay. And Alan says, mental health is so important, and sometimes it is hard to verbalize negative feelings. Exactly, because you don't want to feel judged. And we as Black people, we've been holding back our mental, emotional abuse for so many years, because we have, conditioned ourselves to, put on a brave face and a strong face and say that all of the things that we been subjected to over here hasn't affected us, right? But it has. It really has. And we've got to get through this. We got to let it out so we can heal, right? Because if we continue to be in denial and suppress and repress these emotions, they're just going to stay bottled up in there, and then they could erupt into something that's, not safe. Hey, Maggie, the substitute teacher, coming through to show some support. Boy, mom, too. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I know, just like the last video we just saw, to hear the pain, in the men's voices, that it hurts me, because I've got two sons, and, like I said, we all had a father, and I have a little brother. So I can't just turn my back on our men, right? These are our brothers. These are our men. These are our sons, our fathers, our brothers, so, and we all need to heal as a society of people too. It's not men against women. We've got to recognize that we are all in this together, part of the human race. And on that note, I'm trying to find a happier video so we can leave on a positive note. One positive note that I can say is that the attention that we have brought to this whole situation. Narrative says, I agree. That's part of the uptick of femicide in the USA. Exactly. And see, that's what I'm saying. That so as much as we continue to make these separate issues, we're not going to make a big impact, because it's strength in numbers, it's strength in unity. And none of us could be here without the other one, right? As far as I've heard, that no one's been able to recreate a human being without man and woman, right? We need the two of us to be able to do these things. And if y'all don't mind, could you hit the like button on your way in here? Oh, I guess that's pretty decent there. That's all right. To help each other, right? To help each other. So anyway, this was my first time to do this subject here, and I appreciate everybody that's coming out here. And I will see y'all in another video. I'm going to just still meditate on this, and we're going to see where we're going to go from there. But I want to end this with, I don't want to say a prayer, but just my desire to see some healing in this, and that we as people, especially Black people, because we're the first ones to say, turn back or turn away from needing or saying that we need help, right? Nobody want to say that they've seen a therapist or they had to spend a little time in a mental institution for a little breakdown and stuff, right? It happens. Thank you. And Alice says exactly. Yes. And so yes, that's my desire, and that's my hope and prayer too. And we're going to send up prayers for the family, his family, and ours too. So I will see y'all in another video. Thanks again. Love y'all. And everybody.